Yeah, on France 24, we're going to go straight to the press review now to find out what the press are saying about all of this. Antonia Kerrigan is with us today. She's beginning with reactions, of course, in the Middle East, including those newspapers supportive of the Islamic regime. Tell us what you've been reading, Antonia.
Well, I'd like to start by showing you the front page of the regime-aligned Tehran Times, where you have a sober monochrome front page with an image of Ayatollah Khamenei and the headline, "For Iran's Independence and Glory." And the Lebanese paper that's also close to Hezbollah, so loyal to the Iranian regime, the Lebanese paper Al-Akhbar has also on the front page an image of the deceased Ayatollah against a blood-red background with the headline, one word in Arabic reading, resist. So this is a reflection of the continued defiance of the Iranian regime and their allies in the face of actions taken by the US and Israel. Meanwhile, also in Lebanon, L'Orient Le Jour, very anti-Hezbollah paper that's in French language. You have the Ayatollah also on the front page, but the headline very different. The tearing of the axis is that headline. On the inside pages of L'Orient Le Jour, they provide a breakdown of what they see as the likely or plausible outcomes to this current situation. The first that they give, Iran pushing Washington to retreat, by losing them the patience and support of their allies in the Gulf. The second proposition they put forward is that the Islamic regime could be pushed to capitulate should its stocks of drones and missiles start to run dry. A more pragmatic leader than the now deceased Ayatollah Khamenei might be inclined to make certain concessions to the US and Israel. The third outcome they suggest is that Donald Trump takes the win over the assassination of Ali Khamenei and swiftly steps back to save face, exonerating, if you will, himself, washing his hands of whatever chaos may ensue next, and of course to avoid drawing the US into one of these forever wars that he has so railed against. The fourth outcome they suggest in L'Orient du Jour that they say is the least likely, but the one that Donald Trump, of course, is calling for, is for the regime to be toppled from within. Of course, this comes hard on the heels of the Iranians really trying, in many cases, to topple this regime and it ending in such enormous bloodshed. The front page of Haaretz is focused, of course, on the Israeli civilian casualties. And on the inside pages, once again, you have this defiance of the Iranian regime. Khamenei's successors are showing no signs of surrender, and they may push even further. According to this journalist takes the view that the Iranian missile fire has been much more chaotic than what we saw last June. And the analysis this journalist provides from an Israeli point of view is that the Iranian strategy here is to aim at high casualties, exacting a cost in order to exhaust those who are currently attacking Iran.
Continuing a little bit further afield, Europe and the US, the media there still reeling, really, 3 days on from Donald Trump's decision to initiate these strikes in the first place, you found.
Well, yes, you've got some very damning pieces in the Times, obviously the front page. Trump vows to press on, but you've got this very damning opinion piece. He said no to foreign wars, so what made Trump act? This article opens less than 2 weeks after the first meeting of his Board of Peace. President Trump grew bored of peace. That's some wordplay, but overall the message is that despite his repeated promises to end these forever wars, he looked for a rally around the flag moment. He looked for political gain when he saw this opportunity amid a difficult time for his administration, amid the Epstein files, and of course, as the American voters still await the economic boom he's so long promised. L'Humanité is similarly damning, describes Donald Trump seeking a Nobel Prize for war. And is extremely cynical as well, sceptical of his motives, suggesting he's been deeply disingenuous, saying that he has used the recent repression against the Iranian people as a pretext, and negotiations over the nuclear deal last week was little more than bait. In the US, opinion is very divided. In the New York Times, you have this piece entitled "Trump and Netanyahu are doing the free world a favour." And this takes Trump's motive of liberating the Iranian people very much at face value. unlike what we just saw in L'Humanité here in France, suggesting criticisms from both the right and left reflect a changed US people, more pessimistic, more cynical, who once would have rejoiced in seeing a people freed, as they were, according to this article, this weekend. But they now apparently ask, what's in it for us instead? That's, of course, a thesis predicated on the idea that this weekend the Iranian people were indeed freed. And that's an extremely complex question. Elsewhere in the same paper, also in the New York Times, there's a very different view. This article says the US and Israeli strikes risk setting off deeper radicalization or violence in Iran, and describes on Sunday morning Iranians coming out to celebrate the death of the Ayatollah, only to quickly scatter when Basiji volunteer militias showed up. So according to this account, it doesn't really feel like the tyranny is over for the Iranian people, as the previous commentator seemed to suggest.
Of course, it can be difficult for the cartoonists to get it right at periods like this, but you found some which hit the nail on the head.
Well, some certainly worth looking at. I mean, this one in The Telegraph looks at a monument to Ayatollah Khamenei in the shape of a nuclear warhead, and on it the offerings are not flowers that you might leave on a deceased tomb, but skulls. Of course, a reflection that he will be remembered not only for his nuclear ambitions, but also for the very many who his regime massacred. The Guardian has this piece satirising Donald Trump, calling on the Iranian people to rise up, and an image of the Iranian people looking on at the wreckage from the airstrikes, the burning wreckage, with the caption, "Easier said than done," after, of course, the last time they rose up, it was at a huge, enormous human cost.
Antonia, thanks very much. Antonia Kerrigan, looking through the newspapers there for us here on France 24. A lot more coverage to come, of course. Do stay with us. All the latest after the break.